Check one, two, check one, two. Are we live? I think we're live. What's up, peeps? What's up, ninjas? Facebook ninjas. Good to see you today. I'm super stoked to have one of our black belt sales training sponsors in his house with us today. Say hello to everybody, Glen.
Hey, contractors, technicians. I'm glad to be here with Gene, and I'm looking forward to speaking to you today.
Fan-freaking-tastic, man. So we're going to come to you talking a little bit about water treatment stuff today. I'm going to ask Glen to just give us kind of a little bit of an idea of his background and what his experience is, because I don't think you guys got a clue the qualifications that this man actually has. So why don't we start out there, and then guys, if you can hear us, please hit the thumbs up, hit the likes. I'm going to be dropping some massive bombs on here from a sales perspective on how you guys can take this live training and go out in the field and start making yourself some money. Boom, immediately. And then we'll actually, at the very end, if you stay to the end, Glen has got a special offer for you. You don't want to miss out on this. So tag your friends, tag your plumbers, tag your HVAC people, because HVAC contractors, I don't know if you know this, but most of you don't even require a license to install water treatment systems. So big nibble, big opportunity that a lot of us are leaving on the table. So please also, if you're watching this live, will you please just type down in the comments live? And if you're watching a replay later, just type in replay. All right. Appreciate you guys. So Glen Blavet is the CEO of Halo Water Systems. Glen, floor is yours. Please give us a little bit about your background, brother.
Well, thank you for the introduction, Gene. And my background, gentlemen, I am actually the founder and CEO of Halo Water Systems. I've been doing this. I started this company 18 years ago. And this year was the best year we've ever had. So I didn't, I started in the plumbing, heating, air conditioning business back in the late 70s, licensed plumbing HVAC contractor for 25 years. And I rolled into Halo. It's the best decision I ever made. We're a national brand. I love working with contractors, technicians, and lead ninjas across the United States. So my background is plumbing, heating, air conditioning, but really my background is helping you, giving you the tools so you guys can actually take advantage of picking up that add-on sale, which is, like Gene stated, air scrubbers, water scrubbers, and 90% of what you guys are out there, plumbers, is caused by poor water quality. And it's just real easy. People want it. They just don't know you have it. Gene?
So what are some of the things in the water that cause damage to the plumbing system? And between you and I, Glen, I think every single plumbing problem that I've encountered has got something to do with the water. What do you think, Scott?
Well, water.
Yeah, I mean, just give me some that aren't. That's what I would like to know. I mean,
so here's your
problem everybody's dealing with.
Here's your first bomb from Glen from Halo is every toilet tank in America has a sticker in it, and it says, if you add bleach or cleaner, the warranty's void. Well, the municipalities add two chemicals to the water. They add chlorine, which is a bleach, and they've added recently, well, in the past several years, they've been adding ammonia, which is chlorine and ammonia together is chloramine. And we have a problem
there.
Yeah?
Which are even worse.
It's even worse when the combination together. And these pinhole leaks, it's not that cheap Korean pipe that you guys are, it's the cheap pipe. It's the water. It's the chlorine and the ammonia mixed together is chloramine, and it's been causing issues with copper pipes, PEX pipes, fittings, your hair, your clothes, your skin. And, most people didn't even realize that you got more chlorine and more bleach in your tap water than recommended for a swimming pool. For starters, boom, there you go.
And would you guys drink out of a swimming pool? That's the question that I have for you. Did you know that the average house in America has got more chlorine in it than a swimming pool?
Yeah, Glen, why do you think it is that people don't even know this?
Well, actually,
homeowners have no idea. They take a drink of that water and they taste the chlorine, but they really don't understand and know what they're tasting. Maybe they think it tastes fresh. Like, that tastes fresh, but you're actually tasting fresh bleach.
There you go. Well, you know what? People are actually more aware than we give them credit for. I mean, there's bottled water industry's $20 billion this year. You couldn't get bottled water off the shelf during the pandemic. People really don't like drinking tap water. They can smell that bleach, but you get tuned in it. You guys live in Florida. When I go to Florida, you know, the water smells horrible to me. I'm coming from a different area, but it's taste, odor, smell, and it's really
people want well water here, man. Sulfur,
sulfur. You know, people want it. They just don't know you have it. You know, at Halo, we give these away like candy. So these are a swimming pool chlorine pH test kit. If you got this in your truck, you don't put it in your back pocket when you get out. You can't use it if you don't have it. I got to tell you, I'm here today. I got like goosebumps. I was talking to on the last training that Scott and Gene did in Florida. I was fortunate enough to sponsor it with the team, and the dealer in Wichita, Kansas, of all places. Great guys, PD Plumbing, Matt and Brett, and the other day they were on the phone. They sold in 2 days they sold $20,000 of Halo offers. The one back there, they were selling H20, zero waste, zero electricity.
H20s.
Bam! There you go.
Glen, so can you tell our viewers what's the biggest difference between the two tanks that you have behind you right now for city purification? Now, everybody, the tanks that are behind Glen right now are for city water purification only, right, Glen? We don't do well water purification. Or if you have something new on that, I'd like to hear it. But you do have two tanks behind you, one's silver and one's an H20 tank.
Yeah, we have the Halo 5 as my flagship 18 years later. Whole house filtration, conditioning, maintenance free. Got a 10-year warranty, NSF certified, WQA NSF 61 certified. So all my equipment is solid. It's been around for a long time. So the Halo 5 is a standalone. The H20, zero electricity, zero waste. Sometimes you don't have somewhere to discharge and reset the media, or you don't have electricity, or you just want the convenience. I mean, in California alone, contractors that are sitting in California where we're having a drought, it's a great option. We got these available to you today. See the two silver tanks on the right? Sometimes people just are looking for highly filtered super soft. So we have it all for you. We're not a one offer only. We're not a one product show. We got a whole line to meet the needs and what the customers are looking for.
Great. Now you have Gene, you're muted.
Yeah, Glen, what do you think the number one education problem is with technicians and companies that are not selling this stuff? They might know that it exists, but what are the number one and number two problems, do you think, there?
Well, it's like everything across the United States. It's training and it's continued education. It's top of mind awareness, but the training has to be enough to where they roll out and they're competent and confident enough to bring up water quality. Because all you have to do, Gene, and you know it, and Scott knows it, and my thousands of technicians across the United States that have these little blue kits in their hands and they put it in their back pocket, is people want it. They just don't know you have it. And the biggest challenge is just being competent and confident enough to bring it up. And that's why we're here today.
Yeah, I think that the biggest challenge from my perspective that I see when I go across the country training technicians is that they're just not sold on the product themselves, right? And it's not your product, it's any product that we ask them to take out and give to our clients. So I find that I have to sell them first on the product. And what's the very first step, Scott, in our sales process? Do you remember?
The very first step?
Putting him on the spot here. My sales process.
Oh no, your sales process. Well, that's completely different than mine. Open your ears.
Big buck. So establish a need for everything on your list. All right. You have to establish a need for these things. Most of the time, people won't buy this stuff because they don't feel like there's a need, y'all. They don't see a reason to part with their hard-earned money. So we've got to find an enemy. All right. And the enemy is definitely not the client. We're consultants. We're on the same side as the client. We got to walk them across the finish line. So we can establish a need using thought-provoking questions. Okay. Thought-provoking questions that get the client to come to their own conclusion about what needs to be done. Like, isn't it better if it's the client's idea that they have a problem and they need a solution for it? I'm not going to go in there talking about Halo, y'all. I'm going to go in there finding out what the problems are. I'm going to go look at their toilet tanks, right? If they've got a rubber flapper that's leaking, what's going on there, Glenn?
Well, it was the bleach in the water that broke down the rubber gaskets. Hence, if you add bleach or cleaner, the warranty's void. I mean, it's real simple. And when you guys are putting in water, whatever repair you're doing, water is, like Gene said, he's blaming it all on water, but it is. It's over 90% is, caused by poor water quality. And why don't we all give them an option to protect the investment they just made in your company? So you're changing.
Why don't we ask them why they don't? Why don't we ask them why they don't have a Halo 5? Or why don't we ask them, why don't you have a water treatment system? Or how about this? Why don't you have something to take the chlorine out of the water? Start out your questioning that way, guys. Why don't you have a water treatment system? I teach this in my masterminds and my classes, and guys go out and they do it, and they're like, oh my gosh. I looked at the client like, why don't you have one? And they're like, I don't know. I'm wondering why I don't have one now too. And then we teach them to ask questions. So let's talk about those thought-provoking questions. I want to drop some value bombs here for people so that they actually get something out of this and they can walk away today and go sell a Halo. All right. And I want you to come back on the comment thread on this live. If you go out and you sell one today, and I want you to let us know that you sold one. I'm going to give you questions here, and then you can go back and you can replay this tape. I'm going to give you just a snapshot into what we're going to be talking about this weekend here at my facility. We're doing a 3-day class on indoor air quality, water treatment, sales process, all that good stuff. All right. So the number one thing that I like to beat up on, and Scott likes to beat up on, is the chlorine. Right. So first question, let's jump in a role play real quick. So Glenn, you role play back and forth with me. You're going to be the client. Cool.
Okay.
So I'm going to show you the problem that I found, whatever the problem is. And then I'm gonna look at you weird and I'm gonna go, why don't you have a water treatment system?
I didn't know you had anything like that available, Gene.
Yeah, but why don't you have one?
I didn't know anything about it. Didn't know anything about water treatment.
Did you know that this problem that you're having is more a result of the stuff that is in the water, the chemicals and the chlorines and things like that are in the water, more than it is, anything else? If this rubber stopper, let's say it's a rubber stopper, do you know what's happening with this rubber stopper? So you weren't aware that it's actually chlorine that's disintegrating the rubber? Your words are important, guys. Use the right words. Disintegrating the rubber. Did you know that anything that you put on your skin is inside your bloodstream within 20 seconds? Hey, if the chlorine in the water will break down that rubber, what do you suppose it does to the soft tissues and organs in our body once we actually absorb it? Did you know that this causes, and then just start throwing out a bunch of negative things that it causes. What are some of the negative things it causes? And let's not go wide on the people. Let's drill down real deep real quick. Scott, give me two negative things that chlorine causes from a health perspective.
Itchy, watery scalp.
Okay. Itchy, watery?
Sorry.
Itchy scalp.
Itchy scalp.
Flaky.
Dry
flaky scalp. That's
because it's drying you out, right? It's pulling out the moisture. Keep going.
Yeah, skin irritations, rashes.
Okay. Eczema.
It's a cumulative toxin.
Cumulative. What the hell does that mean?
Which means it affects you over time.
Right. So cumulative means that it builds up in you, right? It accumulates inside of you. And the best thing about chlorine, you want to know the best thing? Guys, this is a gift. It's the gift that keeps on giving. You only excrete about half of what you absorb. You get to keep the rest for life.
Lucky.
Do you know it also causes cancer? You guys know how it causes cancer? So you guys didn't know that once we absorb the chlorine from the water into our bodies, that it loves it some oxygen, and that it goes around and pulls oxygen molecules out of your blood, creating oxidative stress and free radical formation, which is cancer. Do you know that people that drink chlorinated water are 90% more likely to get cancer than people that don't? Do you actually know that it burns the linings of your sinuses and lungs when you breathe it in, and eventually you can't even smell it anymore?
Chlorine bombs.
Away from it for a while.
Use those.
Yeah, I mean, it's bad, guys. We do these demonstrations. Scott does this demonstration. I do these demonstrations with where we actually, in less than 60 seconds, will take a glass of water and show you that we can absorb the chlorine within 60 seconds. And then we put drops in it to show you that there's no chlorine left. It's absolutely mind-blowing. You should come to the class just for that. People actually sell tons and tons of systems just on that.
But
guys, go ahead, Glenn.
I said that alone will sell it. Great job.
Yeah, if you guys don't interrupt me, I'll run this show. I can promise you
that. You know, it's hard for me to do that. Go ahead.
Yeah, so, you know, the biggest problem I see in the field is that the plumbers and technicians aren't even doing a water test, which I think should be mandatory across the board.
Oh, I agree. 100%.
Customer needs to know what's in their water, whether they do something about it or not. They need to know what's in their water. So every plumber in every home should be doing a water test. They should at least be asking the customer as well. When was your last water test?
Yeah, so that's one thing that's in the water. And let's just back up a little bit, because you remember we said that the first step in any sales process is to establish that there is a need, right? The way that we establish that need is by talking about all the negative side effects that the client has. And I wouldn't just stop with health, guys. What are some of the other stuff that we would want to talk about if we're throwing rocks at chlorine? That's what Russell Brunson calls it. He said, you got to find an enemy and throw rocks at it. Right? So in this scenario, chlorine is the enemy. Outside of the health stuff, what's it going to do?
Your clothes.
Go ahead, Scott.
Fade your clothes.
Your clothes. Yep. Fading on your clothes.
What about the fibers in the clothes?
Absolutely.
What does it do?
It's going to dry up your hair. It's going to get brittle.
Right, but in your clothes, Scott was talking about your clothes, so it's going to fade your clothes twice as fast. The chlorine actually breaks down the fibers in your clothing, so your clothing doesn't last as long. You're going to get holes in it twice as fast. You're going to spend more money on clothing. So, I mean, you could even essentially almost pay for a halo or a water treatment system just in your clothing lasting twice as long.
Well, people are paying for it either way, with 3-4 plumbing visits a year from the local plumber, and then times that by 5 years. 10-year warranty on a halo. I mean, come on, that thing's paid for itself already. People just don't know it.
You know, have you ever considered how much a plumbing system costs in the average home?
Yeah. What, like repipes? Repipes are anywhere from $5,000 to $15,000.
Plus all the water is attached, the dishwashers, the ice makers, the washing machines, the water heaters, all of this stuff.
The valves. Yeah, everything that's in line.
So does it make sense that if a water treatment system will double the life of your plumbing system, and your plumbing system is $20,000, $25,000, $30,000, does it make sense that you're paying for a water filtration system whether you get one or not?
You know, it's funny. It's funny, Gene, is, you know, over the years, I'd get a whiteboard out with technicians and actually add up the savings. You know, how much is the halo going to save you over 10 years? Well, the average person spends about $1,000. Average family of 4 spends about $1,000 a year on bottled water. And then you're going to extend the life of the water heater. You're going to avoid repipe. You're going to extend the life of your plumbing. You're going to use less shampoos, less detergents. Your clothes last longer. And that number varies anywhere from 25 to 35,000. Even I came up with one whiteboard was 40 grand over 10 years. Amazing.
Yeah, we're not quantifying it for people as technicians. And I want to warn all of you out there who think that you're doing good when you're sharing all these benefits with clients. People spend money for 2 reasons. 2 reasons. Number 1, to escape pain, and number 2, to experience pleasure. I got news for you. What do you think? Do you think that they actually spend money faster on escaping pain or experiencing pleasure? What do you guys think? Statistically, you can be wrong. It's okay.
Escaping pain.
That's right. Yeah, they will spend money faster to escape pain than to experience pleasure all day long. So instead of just constantly sharing the benefits with them and coming off salesy, why don't we share the negative side effects with them and wait for them to ask for a solution? Okay, guys, we got it backwards as salespeople. I'm telling you. And we do this demonstration in our class all the time. I take this iPad and I'm at this brand new iPad Pro, and I hand it to somebody and I go, buy this from me. And they go, no. And I go, but buy it from me. And they're like, but I don't need it. I'm like, yeah, but buy it. Right? Like if they don't feel like they need it, they're not going to get it.
Right.
how it is. So there's got to be a need established before anything else happens. Once there's a need established, if your customer ever asks you, well, what do we do about this? You know you've done a good job of establishing a need. Make sense? So that's the biggest thing that I want to bring out of all this, guys. You will sell more jobs by establishing a need than you will ever sell by trying to create a benefit for the client. Right? Promise you. Promise Jesus.
Yeah, you know, when I go out to places and I ride along with plumbers, I'm like really astounded that it sucks. It's sort of a one-track mind that they have because, okay, well, we're going in because there's a toilet that continues to run. So they just focus on the toilet and fixing it and not telling the customer, like, why did this happen in the first place? You know, why is your toilet leaking? You know, why do you have this problem? Why do you have that problem? Like we went to 5, 6, 7 different plumbing problems, and nobody really actually tried to figure out why it was happening in the first place. And it was absolutely mind-boggling to me. Just so much money is being left on the table, and if you don't inform your customers of why it's happening, that's negligent, if you ask me.
And do it using questions, like Scott said. Ask the client, "Do you know why this happened?" And when they say no, then you can give them the information, but do it in the form of a question. Say, so you weren't aware that this is happening because of X, Y, Z, right? Like it's a different people. Have you ever had technicians? Have you ever been out there and you're talking to a customer and you're trying to sell them on something, and it seems like a ping pong match? They hit the ball, you hit the ball. They hit the ball, you hit the ball. They hit the ball, you hit the ball. Do you realize I can actually control your thoughts by the questions I'm asking you? I can lead your thoughts by the questions I'm asking you. So why do you keep talking at clients? Why do you keep puking on them? How's that working out for you? How's your bank account look right now? Serious. How's your bank account look right now? Is there enough money in there? Do you have all the things that you want to have? Or have you settled for less of a life than you dreamed of when you were a kid? We got a lot of people giving up out there. Right? Mm-hmm. But guys, it doesn't have to be that way. You get with people like me, you get with people like Scott, you get with people like Glenn, and get the knowledge that we have. Go out there, take it to the field and use it and achieve the life of your dreams. I got plumbers that come into our group that are doing 1.5 million and within 30 to 60 days are doing 2.5 to 3 million. Just on water quality stuff, right? There's so much out there. Quantify it. What's $3 million in water quality sales a year? How much do I have to sell a week or a day?
You would have to sell 3 units a day to be about 3.6 million. If you were selling just 1 unit a week, that's $300,000 in new add-on revenue. So just imagine if you had 3 guys in the shop selling 1 a week. Now you're $1 million in water quality.
If I was a service plumber, I promise you I would sell no less than 1 of these a day. No less.
That's 1.2 million. That's
seriously, guys. $6,000 for one of these things, right? 5 times a day. So I would charge $6,000. You could charge 5, but 5 to 6 grand, $5,000 once a day is $25,000 a week, and probably $2,500 in commission for me on top of all the other stuff if I don't install the product.
Right.
So you guys, can you see the money you're leaving on the table? If every single plumbing problem that you run into is got to do with the quality of the water.
I don't know what isn't. What plumbing problems are not caused by water quality?
And from an ethical perspective, you guys think you're ethical, right? How many of you, give me a thumbs up or a heart right now on the stream if you're ethical. If you're on YouTube, go ahead and just put it in the comments. I'm ethical. All right. I want to see them. I want to see them. Now, question for you. If you've got a plumbing system that's completely unprotected and you know that it's going to last half as long as it otherwise would, and you don't bring this up, are you doing something for your client? Or are you doing something to them? That's the question I have for you.
Wow.
It's an ethical problem. It's an ethical matter. You must bring this stuff up. Otherwise, you're putting people in harm's way. You're putting their bodies in harm's way. The stuff that's in the water is not good for us, guys. I don't know. You really want to do your own research. Negative effects of chlorine. Oh, by the way, it can also cause erectile dysfunction, guys. Look it up.
Uh-oh.
It actually causes sexual side effects. And that might be what's wrong with me with all those years.
Yeah, how many years had we been dealing with this without even knowing, right? How many years have I been bathing in a swimming pool, right?
It's
ingesting
horrible.
all of that into my body.
That's some,
Right. So, Glenn, I see you have a couple tanks over here. Is that a brine tank?
we do have the highly filtered super soft system. Yeah, I do. That's our highly filtered super soft system. Because some people just like softening, Scott. They
the feel of it, right?
They don't call it. Yeah, they don't call it slimy or soapy. They love it softer.
So is that a single tank system with a brine tank?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Really?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Because I mean, all the years I've been selling Halo, we pitch it as a salt-free system, a brine tank-free system, which is amazing because of the ion process and all that kind of stuff. But that's awesome.
So our main source, 90% of what we sell is the Halo 5. Now it's the Halo H20. And I wanted to comment one thing is, guys out there, it's the water that broke it. And your job, and I preach this because I'm a licensed plumber and I grew up in the trades, and I was always protecting the health and safety. And I like to say homes and family, because we're there to service the home, fix the problems. But by doing that, you're protecting the health and safety of the homes and family every day, every call. And if you're not bringing it up, like Gene said, we're not doing our jobs as service technicians.
Mm-hmm.
No, I want to back it up. If you're not bringing this stuff up after this conversation, after watching all the negative side effects that we've already shared with you, there are just about a third of them, maybe. If you're still not putting it in front of your clients, in my opinion, and in most other people's opinions, you're not doing something for the client. You're doing something to them. And I know that I know technicians have got good hearts. And I know also that technicians, for the majority, tell me if I'm wrong, Scott, because you go out and do ride-alongs as well. Like most of the technicians that I run into will not sell something they don't believe in.
The problem that I have is they don't know that they don't believe in it. That's the biggest problem. They don't know that they don't believe in it because nobody's ever told them.
Right. Nobody's
ever went down the chlorine road with the plumbers. Nobody's ever went down the hardness water road with the technicians. They've never done it. They just don't know. They don't know what they don't know, obviously. So I think that's one of the biggest things. I think, and one of the other problems that we have in the industry is they are afraid. They're afraid. They went in for a toilet flapper and they're afraid to give a price of $5,500 for a water tank.
Hell yeah. Why not just get the $300 service call? Last time I put $5,000 in front of a client, they yelled at me. Right. And guys, that's not your fault. It will be after this particular training that you're on right now, because I've given you a way to establish a need for clients. I gave you questions, rewind the tape, go back and write them down. All right. Otherwise, you're going to have to pay to come here and hear that stuff again.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem that I see when I went with the plumbers is nobody's doing water tests, but they wouldn't even know what's inside one of these tanks anyway. So it's training.
Well, and frankly, I found the more that the technician learns about the systems, the less they sell them.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
You guys ever found this out? Like I've brought people into my businesses who had almost zero HVAC or plumbing experience. And I put them out there, and because of their personality and because of the process, they sell all kinds of stuff. Then they get educated on the product, and they think that the key to getting the client interested in is educating them. I like to educate my
educate yourself first.
How's your bank account look from that? People are going to get mad at me for saying that. Seriously. Stop puking on your customers. Learn how to establish a need. And if you really, really want to get deep in it, come to one of our classes here. We've got one this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We've also got one January 28th, 29th, and 30th. We're having them just about every month. And there's a capacity of like 48 people. So you better get your seats now because they sell out quick. So reach out to myself or Scott or somebody on this stream. Just put I'm interested in the class so that we can get you some more information on that. And then also at that class, we give you special deals and stuff on Halo systems. We really, really, really take care of you. Give you all the information. If you want brochures, we got brochures.
Oh, I got a bunch. They're sitting right over there in that box.
I haven't sold a brochure in years.
Never sold a
We don't give out brochures. We just show them.
But we've got all of our Halo stuff here in the office, Glenn.
Yeah, you guys did a great job on the last training. And if you don't bring it up, I'm going to leave you with this. If you guys don't bring it up, somebody else will. And the worst feeling I had as a technician is I went out and I fixed a toilet flapper, and I went back again because I didn't do my job. I didn't change them all. I just did one, and I went back out, and then they had another filtration system because I didn't bring it up.
Yeah,
and somebody else did. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And an inferior one at that.
Yeah, there you go. Wasn't a Halo.
Or you're a plumber and you go out there for one fix and then you're back next month for another fix because you didn't talk about water quality while you were there.
So
constantly going back to your customers' homes for the same problem.
Real quick for the techie guys out there, can we just give them can I give them a little bit of information on the difference between a softener and what you're doing, Glenn?
Please.
Cool. So guys, a softener has got something in it called resin. Imagine these tiny little BBs with cracks and crevices all in them. All right. And they've got this charge to them. And they've got a charge so that they will actually attract calcium and magnesium to these little balls and hold on to it. Right. And there's a timer on your system that says, based on the amount of resin that we have in there, those little balls, and the amount of water that goes through the system and the number of people that are there, we're going to time it so that when these balls get full, we take salt water out of this brine tank and we rinse all that crap off. It goes out the drain, and now we're charged up and ready to remove calcium and magnesium again. Make sense, guys? And it leaves some salt water in place of that. Now, you could do a little bit of research and find out how much sodium the American Heart Association actually says you should have a day. And it would probably convince you that you didn't want sodium in your water. But I actually do have sodium in my water. I actually use like Glenn's talking about. I like the silky smooth thing. So Glenn, when I put my Halo system in, I know that it's en route. I'm going to still have to have either the tank that I've got for the softening, right? Or add one of those.
If you like silky smooth, you're going to have to leave it in. And that's, it's the customer's choice, right? It's not yours. Let them do it, buy what they want. But
so now the Halo product is different, right? So the Halo product uses aragonite.
Well, it's a physical treatment, and there's so much fun stuff they learn in during the training with you guys, and when those resin beads are in the bottom of a water heater that you're changing. Well, that's not. I mean, there's just so much fun. It's so much fun. I'm still doing this, and I built my fortune. I had a 60 truck operation here in San Diego, and I got to tell you, I get more enjoyment, working with, the lead ninjas and you the technicians and contractors out there and helping you, protect the health and safety. But, change your water, change your life. I mean, it's just that easy. And if you're not promoting water quality and not as an add-on on your business, man,
you're missing it. You're missing out. You're leaving money on the table, y'all.
Big
you're leaving money on the table, and you're leaving money out of your own bank account in your own life. You have a duty, you have a responsibility to take care of your family to the best that you can. You have a duty. Success is your duty. So start bringing this stuff up because now you have a moral obligation to do it.
Awesome.
Right? Guys, hit Scott up or myself up if you're interested in becoming a Halo dealer. The Halo, the way that they're different, I'm going to sum this up in 30 seconds, different than the softening, is that it uses aragonite to encapsulate or surround those calcium and magnesium molecules so they can't stick to your plumbing fixtures and ruin your fixtures and your faucets and your toilets and your sinks and your water heater and your dishwasher and your ice maker and all the other stuff that's in there. All your angle stops, you're ruining them. Okay? Stop it.
Awesome. It's a specialty product team, and it's maintenance free whole house filtration and conditioning.
No salt.
Do your research.
Maintenance free. And the H20 doesn't need a backwash either. It's just an in and out tank. So there's no backwashing on the H20 tanks.
If you're in a condo, that makes sense, right? You don't want
if you don't have an electrical outlet nearby to plug in the Halo 5, you can just do an H20.
Boom.
And then they have the H20 with the scale media as well.
Cool. And y'all, if you want to join the class that's coming up here this weekend, or you want some more information on the next one, put class down in the comments. Cool. Hey guys, do you have anything else for the people? Anything else we can drop for them right now?
I had a couple specials I'd like if you're attending the class.
Do it.
Boom! Let's do that special. So if you're attending the class this weekend, you sell 12 halos, you get one free. So it's a $1,700 value. So pick it up. We have a Jedi kit that's available to you guys that sign up. Just, get a hold of Gene and Scott. But remember this when you leave today. When you leave from here from me the last time is change your water, change your life, protect the homes and family you're serving today first and foremost. Thanks for having me today.
Glenn, thank you for being an official sponsor of Lead Ninja Black Belt training events. We certainly appreciate you. Scott, thanks for being on. And y'all, hey, hit the hearts, hit the likes, share this, put somebody's name down in the comments that needed to see it. And if you're watching this on a replay, type replay. If you're watching it live right now, will you please just type live into the comments real quick? I appreciate you guys. I love you. Share the stream. See you guys.